There's a term that I heard not long ago. I was kind of an adult when I heard it, and it's called kink shaming. And it's usually in the positive sense, like we don't kink shame. Whatever you're into, among consenting adults, that's your thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm probably one that would kink shame if I saw
But you have kinks. Everybody has their things.
I like my hair pulled.
Yeah.
I told you that.
But you shave most of it off.
Well, my head hair pulled. I like, sometimes I ask her to
fairly tame.
Pull your hair.
I do say that sometimes. Yeah, that's tame, I suppose. I mean, there are other things I'd probably ask for, but I know it's a non-starter.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You can ask and beg all you want.
No point.
Yeah.
You locked in now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind being,
If you thought the Middle East was intractable.
Yeah.
Nipple clamp? That's what you want, isn't it?
I don't know.
You want that in your stocking?
I don't know if I'd go that far.
You like them played with?
You like mild pain?
I like mild pain.
Yeah, you don't want to bleed.
Right.
I won't make you bleed.
I like my back scratched. Sometimes.
What do you think you would do? Because this has never appealed to me. But they say it often happens to powerful, wealthy people. They like to be dominated by a woman.
Yeah, I'm into that. I would be really into that.
I mean, that's basically your life.
Yeah.
Bosses like that. CEOs like that.
Yeah,
exactly.
Owners of businesses
they make
like
decisions all day.
Yeah, they don't want to make decisions.
I'd love to be tied up, hands to bedpost, feet to bedpost.
Because you're such a control freak. It'd be nice, for an hour to not have to be in control.
I think that'd be great. But
you're a great candidate for it.
I'd love to do that.
And we don't kink shame.
I think it's a non-starter. I think, what we do now is back to basics. All right.
Lights out.
That's right. Let's get down.
Turn a little butter, Amish style.
Right.
Like in the wild.
Yeah. You know what I'm thinking, though?
Yeah. Okay. I like how you put that. Churn a little butter. In fact, that's how I'll phrase it from now on. You want to churn some butter?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it. Yeah.
You know what I think?
Yeah, that's right. What do you think?
I think when your daughter goes off to college and the house is just the two of you, I think you have a better odds of talking her into it.
100% things go
because
will
I think right now, in the back of her mind, she constantly thinks, what if one of the children sees this? What if,
but I hear it.
When the house when the house is empty, I think you may have a better shot at it.
Only two things stop me from agreeing with you. One, we'll be 4 years older than now. My daughter's a freshman in high school. Of course, I'll still be interested. I know that.
You'd be eyeballing 60.
And as my daughter moves out, remember my son will be moving back in.
Yeah.
Let's remember now.
Oh, it's a cruel twist.
It is.
Would your house come with a basement?
Unfinished, but I think we can put him down there for a while.
I'd finish it.
Yeah.
I'd start finishing
I don't
it now.
think he needs it to be
Start the
finished.
work now.
I don't think he needs it to be. Just stick him down there.
Put a cot down there.
He can sleep on the ping pong table. It's down there.
Ironically, you'll both be trying to sneak around.
Yeah.
He'll be trying to sneak a girl in.
Yeah. That's right.
She doesn't mind. Everybody lives with their parents.
Right. Okay, right. But I like where you're going with that, and maybe so. I do like a little something. I'd love to be dominated. I'd love to be tied up to the bedpost and just have
told what to do.
Have her work on me. Yeah. Just go to town.
I'll work on it.
Yeah,
well, so anyway, with that in mind, with the kink shaming off the table, we take you to Indiana, where a woman will be spending some time, will spend the next year in jail after kinky sex with her boyfriend get out of control. 33-year-old Tanika Miller and 41-year-old Deshaun Roscoe have been together for about 5 years. They have 2 children. Safe to say their sex life was spicy. Back in May of 2022, the pair, this is 1 in the morning now, the pair decided, I guess their kids were asleep, they decided to go outside and have relations outside their apartment on a blanket.
Okay.
Things went okay for a while, but evidently there was an argument. And Tanika stormed off, leaving Deshaun naked sitting on the blanket.
Okay.
In the middle of the night, in the middle of the apartment complex playground.
Right.
A few moments later, she returned in her car and said, "Get in."
Okay, all right.
So I guess they patched things up. Now, a few things you need to know. Tanika had brought a handgun with her this time because she said she was worried about the time of day and being alone. And plus, Deshaun was naked.
Right.
So they were still angry, and I think Deshaun shoved Tanika, and she shoved him back. But she swears, and the judge seemed to believe her, that she shoved him with her gun hold in hand, and when it did, the pistol discharged, and the bullet went right into his brain.
Ooh, killed him.
Right there.
Ooh, naked. in the middle of a park in the apartment complex.
In the middle of the night.
Outside, in the middle of the night. And she convinced people this was a mistake.
Well, evidently there's like surveillance video of her giving him first aid, waiting for the ambulance to get there.
Wow.
So she has been, she pleaded guilty this week to reckless homicide and has been sentenced to 1 year prison, 3 years home detention after.
Well, I guess that's fair enough.
Yeah, but still.
Now, that's not a way that I'll die.
No.
I don't think so. I don't care how many.
Didn't we have one of our great P1 calls talking about guns and sex?
Yes, guns and sex. And it scared me to the point that I was just like mesmerized by it. This is a 20-year-old call. I'll find it. I'll find it.
And if memory serves, is one of the parties involved past?
I don't believe the storyteller
I don't think
has,
so.
right?
Not that I know of. Is it a guy that we know? I didn't think so. I thought
hear the voice.
I don't even know who it is. But anyway, this has been a long time
She got off really easy with a year.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Don't you?
I mean, she has to.
They probably try to get to within voluntary manslaughter first, and they pleaded it down to reckless.
Yeah. I think we have it. I think. Let me see if this is the call we're thinking of. This is such a long time ago.
My wife and I had a couple of guns, and they were identical, and I was going to force her to give me a little sex, and I used to pull the trigger right at her head all the time, but it was never loaded. This one time, both of them were identical, and one were loaded, and I pulled the trigger and shot a hole right into the ceiling and almost killed her.
God, I bet that freaked you all out.
That's where I went off the rails. God, I bet that freaked y'all out. That's the
pure you.
That's pure.
That's the essence of you.
God,
you learned your lesson. How long until she gave you sex again?
Probably, I don't know, a couple days. But the sound of me screaming, Ellie, oh my God, I could have killed her. It wrecks me every time I think of it.
I'll bet.
You're not making this up, Charles?
I'm not making this up.
Look, she didn't bite anything off.
Man.
Actually, we were...
You know what I mean? Yes. It's a reflex.
There's a lot to that call. It's old, and you can hear how much younger I am there. And, of course, I've got that wheezy...
Yeah, a little heavier.
A lot heavier there.
That's one of those calls I talk about where both of you sound younger.
Yeah, and I'm wheezing so badly. You know that I was a lot heavier, and you can take the boy out of Ashboro, but not the Ashboro out of the... God, I bet that freaked y'all out.
Yes, and you wanted him to learn a lesson.
I did. I told him. I guess you learned your lesson after that. How long was it till you had sex again? 2 days. Didn't scar him that
and
bad.
He patched up the hole.
She's still staring at the hole in the ceiling. I bet she was like, he's giving it to her. She's probably like, wow.
Drywall, plaster falling into her mouth.
Yeah. We could probably use some new drapes in here, too.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to do it, might as well do it over the whole room,
Well, she gets what she wants now.
I'd say. He almost killed her. You heard him say he's screaming.
Terrified.
I had one in the chamber.
I mean, it can happen.
Yes.
So it happened with this woman.
Yes.
My goodness. What a story.
Speaking of charges about possible death, brushes with death, this is two guys named Chris Follow-Up. I know you remember the story of Joseph Emerson. You may not remember his name, but he was the off-duty Alaska Air pilot who was in the jump seat of an Alaska Airlines flight last month, 2 months ago, and he shut off power to both of the engines, trying to bring the airplane down. He said at the time he had taken psychedelic drugs, so we called him Shroom Pilot. He said that he had been dealing with the death of a close friend, and it was in a very bad way.
I said, let's not be too hasty to judge.
Because the outrage was high.
Immense, like send him to prison forever.
85 counts of attempted murder.
And I get all that, but then I said, I think this is someone who could be rehabilitated as long as he's never allowed to fly again.
It's just a word, son.
Rehabilitate him and put him back out there. But others said, no, that's not the way it should be. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, this is October 22nd was the flight in question.
Right.
Well, this week, a grand jury decided to charge Emerson, he is the pilot, with 83 counts of reckless endangerment, a misdemeanor, one for every person on the plane.
And what penalty could come along with that? Do we know? Misdemeanors, 83 counts of it.
I don't know. Cleaning up litter?
Well, they're taking my advice.
Maybe 6 months in prison. I don't know.
They're doing exactly what I said they should do.
Hell no.
Congratulations.
Well, how much time did you want for him?
I said at least 10 years.
That's right.
He can't ever fly again.
No, that's
off the table.
I mean, this is what I would do. I would give him a couple of years in prison, never ever fly again. Period. Not even on any aircraft.
Not even a personal aircraft with just him on it.
No, and I'd like to see him under some psychological care for a long time too. I'd like to see all that.
He'd said he's given a few interviews since the incident, Mr. Emerson, some from jail. And he said that his grasp on reality was shaky, and his wife has said that he never used any illegal drugs before. In fact, as a pilot, she said he went out of his way to avoid secondhand marijuana smoke, so he would never fail any drug test because he loved flying so much. The wife said he wanted to be a pilot since he was a little boy.
Right.
But the day after he was arrested, I think they said he was slugging coffee from coffee pots, taking his clothes off, attempting to masturbate, and he said trying to just bring himself down.
Right. Okay, yeah.
And his wife, Sarah, said that at one point, he called her from custody. He was so out of his mind, he began singing an R&B classic from, I'm going to say, the 1990s, from Boys to Men.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
One of my favorites from them. And he's singing that to her from jail. Wow. Is he back in a decent state of mind?
Doesn't sound like it.
Well, now, this was back when it happened. I mean, now what's going on?
I couldn't tell you what's happening with him now. His attorneys say, we're not done. He's going to walk out of jail a free man before the end of the week.
Oh. I don't like that. He's got to get some punishment.
The attorneys are saying, watch.
I mean, that's 83 counts of something. He needs to do something.
I think each one passenger should get to kick him in the nuts.
I'd be all right with that.
Would you take that over jail?
I would. I would take 83 shots to the nuts.
Could you be padded? Could you wear a coat?
No.
Raw. You couldn't get. You couldn't survive 85.
I would vote this judge out.
Well, I wouldn't.
It's a grand jury.
And I'd go Well, I'd vote because to me, if I was on that plane, I'd be so pissed. Like, you tried to take me down, you whiny little bitch.
Yeah, I understand that, but in the eyes of justice, here's somebody who, if it really is just one episode and it's a mental issue, then I think we should give him a punishment, but not the rest of his life in jail.
We've heard maybe part of the problem is that if you follow justice and crime stories long enough, you hear plenty of people use excuses. And they're just that.
Yeah, they're not real. They're not true.
Yeah, I mean he took shrooms, and I think everything, and I know the lawyers are lawyering, but I just think it's absolutely ridiculous if this dude walks with nothing.
Well, I do too, but I think he should. I think 3 to 5 years, and then some rehabilitation, some psychological evaluation, and then maybe he can be a healthy part of society.
If you're Boys to Men, do you reach out?
Maybe get your name back in the news a little bit. Yeah.
No.
Increase streams on that.
But if he walks out over the weekend and something happens in a year or two from now,
I don't like that.
Where there's a mass something happening.
He steals a small plane and crashes it into something.
Or shoots up a place.
Then
then you look at it.
He was in the system, and the system failed.
Of course. Chickenbone, you're talking about gunplay during sexual relations. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Good to hear from you, Chickenbone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look here, man. I got a crazy gun and sex story that's going to blow your mind, dude.
Hit me.
All right. A wrong phone number, a wrong call. I answered it. And this girl was looking for somebody, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this ain't him. I said, can I help you out in any way? Well, hour later, I had this girl coming over to my house, right? So we sitting there messing around, and she asked me, she said, can we get freaky? And I said, yeah, a little bit. And she said, can you be my uncle? And I'm like, be your uncle? I said, whatever, you call me whatever you want to call me,
Yeah.
Well, next thing I know, I have a shotgun in the corner of the room. She's like, hey, why don't you get that gun? And I said, and do what with it? She's like, make me have sex with you. I'm like, you're already having sex. What I got to make you? And anyway, she wanted me to take that gun, lay it across her neck while I'm her uncle doing her.
Did you do
Uncle Chicken?
Did you do it?
Hell yeah, I did it.
Okay, well there.
And you didn't have to pay.
So
it was all free, man. It was from a wrong number.
Did you ever see this person again?
I have never seen this chick again in my life. I spent one of the best nights of my life with her. She got up in the morning and left. I ain't heard from her since. Hell, she probably got killed by a real uncle. I don't know.
Wow, what a
man.
story. So it's a wrong number. You answer it. I've been taught not to do that. My wife said, don't ever answer a wrong number. You answer it, and it winds up with freaky sex with a shotgun across her
Kinky
neck.
uncle fantasy.
Wow.
And I was her uncle.
Weren't you a little scared of it as she was talking about it?
You know what? I made her text me and tell me how good of a time she had and how freaky it was. I didn't want her to turn around 2 weeks later and try to get me for something. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to have a paper trail.
Yeah. That's
you know.
Biggie's nodding approval on that. Biggie's like, yes, do it that way.
The bone is thinking.
Wow, Chickenbone. I had no idea. Boy, you talk about.
That's a world you will never experience.
Good Lord. Thank you, Chickenbone.
Like you said, I'm the same. I would have never made it past the wrong number.
Right. You just
hey, who's this? Oh, you have the wrong number. Click.
Potential spam. Next.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable
that's our area code. So.
Yeah. That's an unbelievable story.
Chickenbone thinking ahead, too. Paper trail.
Yeah. He needs that.
You don't want to get charged later.
You never know.